When one lives in paradise, how hard it must be to ascend in heart and mind to heaven. I don't know if you can see. I just love the light sound of the rain, and it makes me feel so cozy, and the heater is like keeping me warm, and reading the books that I really admire, jotting down the points from the book that I like, sipping a coffee. It builds up the whole vibe. I don't know if you can relate to this. Influential Buildings of England series, as entries providing erudite guides for the educated sightseer, but which contain hardly a word about their builders or coasts. In this literature, the builders of country houses are represented as an uniform class. Their finances and economic prospects, especially, are almost totally ignored. The pace and scale of building activity is passed over. At worst, the same examples of architectural distinction are paraded time after time. We begin to see the world of the country house in the 2 centuries after the restoration through the lenses of Blenheim and Castle Howard, Holcombe and Horton. It is a bright yet revisited view of the English county house in which the sheer variety of their size and the scale of their numbers is ignored. I have been consuming a lot of online resources for my coursework, quite a lot, in a copious amount. these days. So it has been a long time that I actually read a physical book. And today I went to the library. I was studying at the Teaching and Learning Building of University of Birmingham. After studying for like 2 hours, I was reading about the decline of globalization, which is going to be my essay topic. I'm very interested in just doing the research whether globalization is actually declining in today's contemporary world. So I was reading an article regarding that one, and then my brain started to rot after continuous reading for 2 hours at the same environment. So I wanted to change the environment. So I went to the library, not to study but to just look around, because when I go to the library I either sit on the ground floor or I just study at the second floor where our politics books and resources are available. But today what I did was I went to the first floor and explored all the areas, and it was so amazing that I found some quiet spots. And also I discovered the section of history, law, psychology, where I found some intriguing topics like thinking with demons, books related to witchcraft, wizardry, and I'm really interested in the study and books that talk about witchcraft and wizardry. I really want to read those things. And also books about musics. There are that talk about ancient witches and all those things in England, in Germany. But I found this book. I was so mesmerized by this colour in typical ancient British history cover and the topic. I am a huge fan and patron of British architecture. I decided to come here in the UK for my higher studies, especially because it attracted me that most of the ancient buildings, vintage, their intricate architecture, I really love those, and it has been my dream place. But thank God for everything. Thank God to my parents. I worship them every day that I am here just because of them, because of the support, my supportive family members, my sister, my aunt, my grandmother, everything. And so I found this book and I'm reading it. So far, this book is talking about the economic gaps that are there, and also the missing points where some other literature fails to talk about the costs of the architecture, and also the gaps where they don't address the builders or the designer of the building. Books that only talk about the structure, the craft, but not who built it, who were the builders, and what are the costs of building these buildings. So it is exploring in this area. I'll be reading till 12 a.m. just trying to finish the first chapter, that is the English country house. I have reached page number 5. I think, there are some beautiful pictures, you can see. It is still page number 10, so after this I'll hit the hay. Just picking up a random page number 5, because I've reached page number 5 so far, and I'll read this page for you. The second question, what do we mean by a country house? Similarly defies precise definition, saturated in our heritage and armed with National Trust membership. We all know in our mind's eye a large old house with numerous outbuildings, surrounded by gardens and park, the main residence, at least historically, of a sizable landed estate, a statement of exclusiveness and authority, of expense and status. This reminds me of the Winterbourne House and Garden, which is in a walking distance near to the place I'm staying right now. It is one of the best and beautiful places in the entire world, or in the UK here. And one benefit is that for us students of University of Birmingham, we get free entry, and for other visitors you have to pay around like £18 if I'm not wrong. So yay. Okay. Yet these are imprecise considerations when divorced from definitions of estate size or income. Whereas, for example, Bateman had identified 183 estates of over 1,000 acres in size in Norfolk in the 1870s, Burke's and Saville's Guide to Country Houses of 1891. Even after the demolition of at least 27 large houses at wholesale breakable estates in the intervening century, lists no fewer than 450 country houses, it is clear that its complication were imperceptibly influenced by 40 years of escalating house prices and estate agents' hype. By the fact that the old gentry, I don't know what is gentry, where they survive, often live in smaller houses in the later 20th century, and many pre-1700 manor houses, which abound in Norfolk, have only recently come back into the country house repertoire with their refurbishment. Nowhere is the amount of land attached to them disclosed. Entries, therefore, do not necessarily constitute a list of country houses which would have been recognized as such in the 18th and 19th century. The guide goes well down the scale into those domains beloved by estate agents. The Old Rectory. What is that word? Gentry, right? Okay. When we turn to Victorian directories, Plate 1, or the numerous editions of Walford's county families of the United Kingdom, for the listing of the seats of the nobility, gentry, and clergy. So it must be a hierarchy. We find these are not necessarily more helpful. Both compilations tend to record houses of the magistracy, which even in the 1840s, when county membership of the bench was almost entirely confined to the gentry and clergy, was not the same thing as a list of country houses. Essentially, the directories in Walford are recording membership of the county community, including many superior clergy and some urban plutocrats, not providing an accurate catalogue of either country house or estates in any given year. Let me just finish it up and show you some interesting pictures that are in this book. So this book will majorly address the questions like, what was the range within most landowners operated? Did costs escalate as incomes rose? How did builders provide features? What were their sources of income, and did building up overstretch their resources and lead them into debt? Is it possible to provide an estimate of total investment in country houses from building accounts, insurance records, and taxation data? To what extent did the creation of private paradises contribute to the wider economy? Private paradises, indeed. I love books with black and white pictures, indeed. Oh, this is the first Duke of Westminster by Sir John Milias, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. There are lots of figures here. £600,000 on rebuilding. Oh my gosh, that is scary. Oh, Big Ben's here. Oh, we visited London Eye. No, sorry, the Westminster Abbey in our recent London trip with my friends. So that's all for today. I will start reading the chapter number 2, The Builders of the English Country House, tomorrow. It's already tomorrow. So bye bye. Thank you.